Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriasecret.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back. Oh, I'm rolling here. We are back today with, and just like that, Season 3, Episode 11, Part 1 of the 2-part finale, Forget About the Boy. And I'm not a huge musical theater person, so I didn't know that this was a song in Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Yeah, I've never seen Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Yeah. So, high-level thoughts, feelings about this episode as we...
Well, I mean, we now know that, this is the series finale, allegedly Part 1. We were just talking... before we started that on the Writers' Room podcast, which I listened to, they did not acknowledge that this was a series finale. They said season finale. So they had already recorded this a long time ago. And I guess they were always going to split it into 2 parts, or maybe not. Maybe they pre-recorded some of it. I don't know. But they're trying to do some hocus pocus here to make it come out.
Yeah.
Like it's, this is the end. But
well, and you also commented, and I noticed that too, that the episode's 28 minutes, which I think
28 minutes.
Yeah, which is very, this is technically, it was a half-hour show, but it's always been at least 30, 35,
40-ish.
40-minute-ish minutes. That's how it's been. And this one, you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
We're bopping through. And as I was saying before we started, I don't want to be such a negative Nelly about this. I really, really don't. But I feel so frustrated. And it's the same frustrations of feeling like, wait, what? You guys are getting engaged now? 2 months ago, you didn't even want to live with him. Do you know what I mean? It's like with Giuseppe and Anthony. It's like, how many months have gone by since we last saw this? 3 months. And now it just, all of it just feels a little bit like, okay.
Well, see, I'm trying to be positive about it because this is the end of a show that, it's the second iteration of the show and it failed. But it's a show that we've been watching for so long.
Yes.
And, it's sad, I think. It's sad that this and just like that did not work. And actually, I found this really interesting piece. Maybe we'll read some of it next week for the final show about why it didn't work. And so
where was that piece?
I can't remember the publication, but anyway,
I would like to read that. And I see my anger as masking my sadness.
That's right. That's right.
I'm really sad.
It is sad that, and there, I mean, the gist of this article, it makes a lot of good points, but the gist of it is that instead of bringing the show back in the ways that, and using focusing on the things that we loved about the show, Sex and the City, they brought it back and tried to make up for all of these perceived shortcomings, with not being diverse enough. And that was the main thing.
Yeah.
And they just kind of tried to shove all these characters in there that made no sense. And, we didn't really want to see too many serious things happening. I think we wanted it to be more fun. And like you were saying last week in the original series, the brunt of whatever was always taken by these male characters who we only saw once or twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't put them on the regular characters. So anyway, it's complicated. It's a complicated relationship we all have.
Yes.
With this series.
I also, if I could add something to that, I think that a lot of the behind the scenes stuff did affect this series. I think, we all know Kim Cattrall did not want to come back. That was huge. I do think that was a huge, huge hole that you're leaving. And then you see how they handled, okay, she's not coming back. So how do we handle Samantha, not being here? Okay, let's create a situation that is so, that's not who Samantha is. That, but it felt a little bit like it's what SJP and Michael Patrick King wanted to do. Like it's the dig that these two wanted to make about her and about her not doing this. And I think that from moment one, that has been this issue is they've taken these characters that we've gotten to know and that we feel like we know really well. And then you're bringing us into the show and you want to break the formula and you're breaking the formula. Okay, that's fine. But don't tell us that this is what Samantha did, because we all know that's never anything Samantha. I mean, really, over a commission check or something, Samantha's going to be like, no, please.
Well, and also the way they've dealt with the men. Okay, so first of all, the entire Sex and the City series was basically like a build up to Carrie and Big being together.
Yeah.
And then you had the movie and all that, and they get married. And then in the first episode of this series, he dies. They have the funeral and she's like sad. She writes that book, but then it's almost like he never existed.
Yes. And one of the lines tonight really felt like, oh, did you just forget you were married to someone?
Oh, yeah. She's done this twice now. Twice she has said to someone. Once she said, I have been with him, Aiden, for 20 years. And then this last one, she said, I'm just getting out of a 22-year relationship. And it's like, Carrie,
you were
married in there. And also Aiden was married and had 3 children.
Yes.
Okay, you've met them.
Yes.
And it's like,
yeah, it's not. I've been married to my husband for almost 22 years.
Yeah, straight, consecutively.
We didn't marry other people and then come back around. No.
Ah, gosh,
and I'm sorry, there is a difference between being with someone for 22 years straight and this back and forth thing.
And we never hear about Big. After the first season, that I can recall, heard nothing.
And again, I think that is what living in the comment section, because they don't want to talk about Big, because they don't want any attention on Chris Noth and everything that's going on with him. But again, okay, don't talk about Chris, but Big, the character, you can talk about. But it's almost
separate the two.
Yeah, but it's almost like, are you afraid to talk about him? So we just pretend like he doesn't exist here at all in this scenario. It's just, they do the most bizarre things and that make zero sense to the show. And then we're just sort of, and again, much like the show ending, we're being told, gaslit, like, no, this is what Carrie would do. This is what this, and it's like, no, bastards.
Okay. Well, all right, let's get into it.
All right. Well, they needed to, I don't want to be so negative about this whole opening with the pies. You did not think this went on a little long and was like, how is this pushing us story-wise? It gets Carrie back in her old neighborhood.
Her back, so she ran into Lizette. She has to be back in her old neighborhood.
Yes. So, and okay, ordering pies makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Great. You can't just have her walking out of the pie place or like, thanks so much. See you at Thanksgiving. It has to be this whole thing about how wonderful Carrie is.
Yeah, virtue signaling for
Yes.
Carrie. That during the pandemic, she supported local businesses.
Yes.
Oh, what a heroine.
Wow.
The woman during the plague helped support local bakery.
And she bought pies and she didn't even pick up the pies. She let them rot here. Well, isn't that annoying too?
Yeah, she should have said donate them.
Yeah.
Make the pies, donate them to a food bank or something. No, she let them just sit there and rot.
Fruit rotting on their shelf.
What the hell?
But that went on for a while. And we had one customer come in and then a second customer come in. Again, I'm sure on the podcast, they talked about that fabulous actress. I mean, that actress, she's in Only Murders in the Building.
She is, but
she is in New York. They're trying to weave in all of these like New York actors, you know, Susie Essman and like these very
Patti LuPone,
all these actors that, you know, are to New York. They're New York people. So anywho, this I thought was bizarre, but
she's a do-gooder.
Yes. Yes.
And then I loved that big bag she was carrying that looked like a coin purse.
I thought that was really cool. And I was like, are you guys doing all this to make sure that we see this purse? Because the purse was great. I love the purse.
I did too.
I thought that was very cool. All right. So then
go ahead.
She's talking on the phone to Miranda and they're talking about Thanksgiving. And we get a little bit of setup here that I guess Miranda's hosting Thanksgiving. Brady's going to cook the turkey. And, you know, and then Carrie talks to her about, oh, I'm back in my old neighborhood. Isn't this tough?
Did she tell her in that phone call that she had invited Mia?
No, I thought she had, but she said that Miranda says that later.
Okay.
No, this was kind of odd too. Again, this didn't feel like Miranda, like when Carrie brings up how, oh God, I'm back in my old neighborhood. Doesn't feel like I've ever left. And Miranda's like, yeah, Brooklyn. I don't even remember Brooklyn. Okay.
It wasn't that long ago that you left Brooklyn, Miranda. It was okay.
I was just like, your friend's having a moment here. You know, you don't let her have it.
Well, we knew that at some point Carrie was going to come back to her old apartment. We thought maybe she might want to move in. And I think she maybe thought she might want to move back in until she actually saw it, the inside.
Oh,
we'll get to that later. But Lizette ruined it. Okay, spoiler alert. But they're joking, you know, about how she wants her place back. And Lizette says, I'm sorry, I haven't seen you in 7 months, but, you know, I was with a boy, you know, going back to the title, forget about the boy. And she invites her to a pre-Thanksgiving, like Friendsgiving party.
And then this is where they, you know, Lizette says this was the longest relationship, 7 months. And then Carrie says yes. And then she asks about Aiden. She's like, well, Aiden and I are not together. Oh, 22 years. And then I don't know if you saw that woman that we love, who has the Why the Wait podcast. I saw her on a TikTok talking about this exchange with Lizette and Carrie. And I had never seen this before, but she was saying, Lizette is young Carrie. I'm like, oh, I don't know why I never it was like, oh, the curly hair and she's an artist and the fashion.
Funky, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And in that exchange, Lizette's like, oh, poor us. And Carrie's like, no. And she's like, okay, well, just poor me. And Carrie's like, no, you're going to be fine too. And it was this moment of, you know, Carrie telling younger self, you're going to be okay. And then in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so is this what you're trying to say? It takes till you're almost 60 to realize you don't need a man?
Yeah, she finally got the memo that she'll be
this thing that she's been searching for.
Yeah. Well,
how straight does he think?
This whole episode is about being alone. And everyone's so worried about her, you know, being alone. And I think it was in the last episode too, a little bit. But yeah, everyone and Carrie's kind of like, I'm fine. And then she even tries to convince herself she's not. But ultimately, only took 60 years, but here we are.
But is that what you're trying to say to us? That this, like, is this the final thing that you're going to leave us on? You know?
Well,
It's just,
I mean, kind of,
maybe.
because when you think about, when the Sex and the City series started, it was about women, these women in New York and making it on their own. And that's the whole theme of the show, is that men are nice to have, but really your friends are your true support and love, and that ultimately you have to love yourself. And then, so that's always been the theme of the show. So it does feel like it's coming full circle. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It just made me laugh a little bit, like, so finally.
Yeah. Well, these things take time.
They do. All right. You want to go? Keep going?
Well, so I think next we have Harry and Charlotte.
Yes,
and
Harry's
I'm
very
so
concerned.
tired of the Harry penis jokes. That he can't get an erection. That's all he can talk about.
And I'd also like to say, as someone who's been married for a long time, no man's going to bring that up when you're polishing silverware. I just want to say, like,
I know
if that's how he's feeling, it would not come up like this. It's literally like, again, Carrie's a man in his late 50s who just got through cancer. I don't know if this would be his number one concern. I get it. I think it is a concern, but at the same time, okay.
I know. And does Harry have any athleisure wear? Like, why is he always in a suit?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Whenever he's at home, it's like he's always in a suit.
Or in pajamas.
Yeah.
When he's recovering.
He needs to get some athleisure. And Charlotte does not have to wear,
oh God, yeah,
those dresses all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough, people. Just relax. So he's telling us he has not had an erection since his surgery, and he's very concerned. And Charlotte's like, oh, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And then the subject of Thanksgiving comes up, and he does not want to go to Miranda's for Thanksgiving. Yes. He wants to be in his own home because he thinks that instead of football being on TV, she'll have NPR on.
Well, guess what? You won't. Not anymore. There's no NPR There's no funding for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe that was last Thanksgiving was the last NPR.
This is the last NPR Thanksgiving.
Well, I don't think NPR is going away. The government's just not going to fund it any longer.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gone.
I don't know. Maybe it'll keep going.
PBS.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I can't keep up. So, yeah, he wants to be able to lie down on the couch and relax and watch football. And she's saying, oh, this means a lot to Brady. And, he's not happy about it. But Charlotte just kind of ignores it. And they just keep polishing silverware.
Yeah. And then we see, I think, and I wanted to talk to you about this storyline because I was very curious of what you thought. We see Rock emerge from the bathroom in their thoroughly modern Millie costume. And they're wearing a short wig, old school flapper wig, pixie bob, and then this really pretty red, sequined outfit. And it was
makeup.
And they ask Mom to, can you zip me up? And obviously Charlotte is struck because she's seeing Rock for the first time, very feminine. So I don't know. What did you think about this? I was like, oh, this is kind of this interesting thing that they're doing here that I thought was like, oh yeah, that is it. And it's something we haven't seen. And it is something like this I felt was more authentic. It is of the time. It is of this. Parents are learning how to understand these things.
Yeah. When Charlotte sees her, she looks like she's seeing a ghost.
Yeah.
She's just shocked. And look, especially for someone like Charlotte, who is just, loved being a girl's mom, and
very feminine herself.
Yeah, very feminine things. Yeah. And just very, obviously she's evolved enough to accept that she has a non-binary child and respect the child's wishes and whatnot. But remember when Rock first said that they were non-binary, she and Harry were not happy.
Yeah.
And they were pissed off at the school because the school let Rock change their name and pronouns without even telling Charlotte and Harry, which I thought they had a right to be pissed about that. It's like, you need to talk to the parents, but anyway, yeah, it was, and I felt sad for Charlotte, but I think in the end she handled it really well. She didn't say anything like, "Oh, you look so beautiful." She just let it lie. She didn't draw any attention to it or any focus. And then at the end, she actually ends up deleting the photo that Carrie took.
And I was like, oh, okay. So, like respecting her wishes, but wanting that moment. And it really is. And it's beautifully acted. It's beautifully done. There's very few words. And my child's not trans. So or non-binary. So I in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, this would be something that parents would, right? This image of what you thought, because no matter what, when your child's born, you have an image of who they're going to be. They're never going to be whatever you think they're going to be, and that part of it. And I thought it was handled really well. See, this is a way to handle social issues that maybe you didn't handle last time.
Yeah, we didn't need to bring in Che Diaz and all that craziness.
No.
We could have dealt with it with, just the characters we have here and just things come up and can be more organic than,
Which is how it would happen.
Yeah.
In life. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're in the dressing room.
Oh, gosh. Anthony's basically become, Giuseppe's mother. And he says this to Carrie later. Giuseppe's moved in with him. He's cooking for him. He's cleaning. He's helping him buy clothes like you would with like a school-age child. Like, here, try this on, And he's really realizing, this role. He's stepping into this like almost mommy role. And then in the dressing room, and this is so strange, like who does this? Giuseppe just decides to get down on one knee and propose to Anthony. I don't know where that's coming from.
And I thought that was very odd because Giuseppe has been, up until this point, a character who is very thoughtful, thinks through things. I mean, this is what we've seen of him. He's been very grounded, very realistic. So you're kind of like, you've been living together 3 months and now you want to something, when he saw that guy jerking off to his puppet, it changed Giuseppe. It changed Giuseppe. And he is not the same person.
No, never going to be the same.
It really, like, he is running so far. He wants to marry him. He's like, it's almost like I can never end up back in that apartment.
Exactly. He's traumatized.
Yes. And he's like, I have to let go of my old life.
I know. I have to start all over. I can't have anything that reminds me of that. I have to dress differently. I've got to move.
Yes. Do you wonder where that puppet ended up?
At Michael Patrick King's house.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. Featured prominently somewhere. Maybe his bedroom. I don't know.
Maybe. So.
Yeah. I think we said this last week. That was probably the single most expensive prop ever on the show.
It's what bankrupted the show.
Yeah. That's why it's going away. They ran out of money because they had to make it 3D perfect.
For this one joke.
Oh, God.
Yes. That's why it didn't feel authentic to me, because it didn't make any sense. But okay.
No.
So Carrie sees her agent, and you know what? Guess what, Brooke? Fun, fan-fucking-tastic. Of course. The woman. No notes. The no notes. No, I mean, just
it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's so good. It is. The prose is fluid. It is moving. Oh, but just tell me how it ends. And Carrie's like, well, I did tell you how it ends. And so we see that in the book, the book ends the way last episode ended, which was Carrie sitting in the garden staring up into the sky. So do we think that's probably how they thought they were going to end the third season, right? In that moment of her, I'm alone and I'm accepting it.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. This is so, I don't know, this whole thing, I mean, they're obviously trying to draw this parallel between Carrie and this woman and
the woman.
And I don't know. Cause then when she goes, she gives in. So the editor wants an epilogue. She wants a happy ending. She doesn't want a bad ending. She doesn't want her to end up alone. Because in 1846, that would be a tragedy.
Yes.
Maybe not today, but this is a novel set in 1846.
And so the question then is, right, even if it's set in 1846, is it a romantic tragedy if a woman ends up alone?
I think in 1846, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Women couldn't even work or go to school. How's she going to support herself? She's going to die.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe it is a tragedy.
It would be a tragedy. She'd have to find some family member to move in with and take care of her. And if she didn't have any children, who's going to take care of her? It would have been, yeah. But so I guess that is kind of teaching Carrie something about, if you want to write about this, you want to do a period piece, you have to make it true to the period.
Yeah. Well, and also, maybe, listen, Carrie, your situation's pretty goddamn good. You don't have to work. You don't have to
you don't have to worry about these things.
You don't have to worry about these things at all. So, you can write a book about a woman, with all your spare time. So, anyway. Yeah. And I don't know if they didn't say anything about that in the writer's room. I'm trying to think of, they didn't really explain that or make that connection, but I really think that this is sort of highlighting once again Carrie's tone deafness, maybe self-absorption issue that she's always had. So, yeah, and just the way they do this whole, the way they handle the writing process too feels so, it's not how writing works. A publishing house is not going to wait for you, an agent is not going to wait for you to finish the entire book, then read it, tell you it's fucking fantastic, and then, but you need to add an epilogue.
Well, because she was letting Duncan give her notes.
That's right. That's right. That's why it's so good, because Duncan helped her? Maybe.
Well, did he leave before she finished it?
That's a good question. Maybe, yeah.
He didn't get to have any input or notes on the ending.
And that's why it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Duncan wasn't there.
That's why Duncan is a best-selling author, but
yes,
she is too, but
all right. So
was the next scene the one where they're at Carrie's house?
Yes. Yes, they're having drinks.
Yeah.
At Carrie's.
Yeah, so Miranda tells everyone that she's invited Mia to Thanksgiving. And I can't remember, did she tell them that she didn't tell Brady?
Yes, she says, Charlotte starts by saying, talking about rock and inviting them to Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Oh, right.
And then, she says, and you're right, they're calling her now Brady's baby mama Mia.
Which I don't like this baby mom. They keep referencing her as a baby mama. I think it's very
that's kind of tone deaf. Yeah,
it's very tone deaf.
And again, and didn't tell him. And so I ask people, does that feel like Miranda? Does that feel like something like are these things Miranda would do?
Well, she did say she didn't think that she would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you knew there was at least some chance she would have said yes. But Miranda, who's very analytical and thinks things through and thinks about, the next steps. Yeah, I don't know. Miranda's just desperate.
Yeah. But also Miranda's a good communicator. Pretty good communicator.
Mm-hmm.
You keep tricking your kid. You keep tricking this woman, your kid. You're lying to her. You're lying to him. You don't think that this is gonna, be a problem?
Yeah.
so that's the part that makes no sense. It's like, just to have this screwball thing or what, I don't know. I don't know why Miranda, I know that they need to get Mia at the Thanksgiving. I understand that, but there's no other way. You and Brady couldn't be out shopping. You and Brady are out shopping for Thanksgiving because he's going to do the turkey and you run into her and then she tells you the story about her mother and the two of you feel guilted into inviting her. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're not dealing with this storyline very well.
Mm-hmm. But then Charlotte comments on the house, like how warm and inviting the house was, that Carrie's finally been furnishing it and it feels more like a home, and that she was in this big empty house, and that this sort of sparks Carrie a little bit. She talks about what her agent told her about adding the epilogue and, that she's in this big house. Is this where she talks about being in this big house and maybe I shouldn't be in this? Oh, no. That's later with Seema. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that she has to add an epilogue because the reader can feel good at the end.
Yeah. And so Charlotte, or Miranda says to Charlotte, "Oh, you're going to bring your stuffing, right?" And Charlotte's like, "Oh yeah." She doesn't even try to get out of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I think, Charlotte wants to go. So she, so she doesn't say anything about that.
And then at the end, Charlotte realizes, she's like, "Oh my God, Giuseppe and Anthony are engaged," in true Charlotte fashion.
Yeah. She shrieks, like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
Okay. Then we get the Seema and Adam shower scene.
Yes.
Now I want to say, I think that Seema is a little bit of a selfish lover.
Yeah, she is.
First time that, I don't know if it was the first time they had sex, but when they were in bed together.
Yeah, the go.
She's like, yeah, she comes to fruition, and she says, "Did you?" And he's like, "No, but I have all night." And then in the shower, it's like,
yeah,
he went down on her, but she didn't want to go down on him because she doesn't have her nose plug.
I mean, it was a joke, but I really do think that she feels like it's beneath her in a way. Like, I'm not going to get down on my knees in the shower. It's like, okay, fine, then put a towel down or leave the shower, or but this scene was so odd because why couldn't they just be in the shower together? Which I think much more. Okay, they're in the shower together, and then she's so rude to him, and then they come out, and then he's very sweetly invites her to Thanksgiving with his sister, and then like very vulnerably says, "I love you," and she says, "I love you back." It was like, oh my God, Seema, you're here. You're this like vulnerable person. It was like a beautiful. It was like in that moment, you're like, why couldn't we see this person? Like, why can't we need more of this Seema? Like, this was fun. Like, this was interesting.
But then she retreated back to being a bitch when she was meeting Carrie for drinks.
Yeah.
And she's kind of putting down, they're vegan and gluten-free. So, and she's making fun of them. And so, yeah, I don't know. Seema, that was the only vulnerable moment, was when he said, "I love you." And without hesitation, she said, "I love you back," in
a very sweet way. It was, it really was like, it was very sweet.
But that was it. Like, it came and went.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay. I mean, I really do think that, that they woke. I mean, it was like they got the news they were canceled and they were like, oh crap. Okay, let's ditch the deodorant. We're over that. Let's just put them in a shower. That way they can't complain about it. And then, okay, they need to say, "I love you" to each other. Okay, he's going to go down on her. And then this is going to happen. I mean,
there's so much going on at once.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's going to say he loves her. And then she's going to say, okay. And then we're off to the next thing. I mean, but it does feel a little, what's the word for it? Ham-fisted? Is that the right term?
I don't know.
Ham-fisted? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Now we're at the theater.
God, and people really dress up for a high school play.
Oh, yes. Everyone's here at the private school musical theater performance.
Yes. Always good.
Yes. And so this is where Anthony tells Carrie that, he's having second thoughts about Giuseppe. He doesn't want to be his mommy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they draw this parallel where he says, I got caught up in the moment. I had this hot guy down on a knee, like asking me to marry him. And Carrie's like, yep, I've been there. Down on one knee with the dog, with the guy, with the ring, So I don't know I don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
I don't know either.
Deal with that.
I mean, I think what would be interesting, again, if they had more time, was to explore that, right? We've been talking a lot about, we were talking about this before we even started the podcast, but we this whole idea of women and how much do women need men at this point? And we see these stats of more and more women aren't getting, right? Staying, not getting married, not having children. Exactly what we're talking about. Because of the economic stuff, women don't need men, and they're realizing that. And I think that this would be an interesting parallel of this relationship showing that, in relationships, there is always someone that has to be kind of the wife or the mom that ends up picking that slack. And what happens, and it's traditionally always been women. So to see it in this way, and to have the women go, well, this is how it's been for us. What are you complaining about?
Well, because Giuseppe's so young. He needs someone to teach him. It's also the age gap.
Yes.
Because if this were two men who were about the same age, I don't think they'd be having this discussion, because they would both be equally as independent and be able to do stuff for themselves. But Giuseppe, he's like this doe-eyed creature who is a mama's boy and has been doted on by his mother his whole life. I mean, God, he was a poet writing poems in Central Park. And the mom is supporting him, paying, wants to buy him a loft. And he has no life experience as an adult.
Yeah. And maybe maybe this is what Anthony's going to realize, which is, I think you're beautiful and all these things, but we're in different places.
Yeah. I predict that they're going to break up, because in no world would this work.
Yeah. I also just don't think Giuseppe would move that fast. But again, you watch someone jerking off to a puppet of you.
It's traumatizing.
It's very, very traumatizing. So speaking of traumatizing, I have a question here. So Victor Garber, who plays Mark Kasabian, who is Charlotte's boss, very well-known actor, New York actor, New York-based actor. Do they owe him money or something? Why? Because this is not an actor that you bring on to say 4 lines in a nothing shot. Like, this is an established actor who doesn't need the money, doesn't need this job, doesn't need any of this. There's a little bit of but he keeps showing up in these episodes, like randomly. Hi, I'm Mark Kasabian, blah, 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 and then moves it along. And you're like, what is going on here? What? And is Mark Kasabian the widower that Carrie talks about in the epilogue? Like, what is happening?
Well, Charlotte's trying to set them up.
Oh, you think?
Remember?
Oh.
Carrie confronts her. And Carrie says,
in this episode?
Yeah. Yeah. She confronts her, because Carrie kind of figures out that, it's like, why is he here? And then she figures out
that was so throwaway. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah. And she said to Charlotte, what are you doing? And Mark Kasabian. And then Charlotte's like, oh, but he's so, he's age appropriate. I think she's, am I imagining this?
I don't know. I don't remember any of this, Brooke. I don't think it was in the episode.
And then Carrie says, maybe it was in the scenes from the next episode.
I think it's scenes from next, because I swear to God, I did not see any of this. And I did not see scenes from next week.
This is what it is. I think, okay. She then invites Mark Kasabian for Thanksgiving, and he shows up, and then Carrie's like, what's going on here? And then she admits that she's trying to set them up.
Okay. But then
either at the play or the next one, I don't know. It's all running together right now.
No, I don't think it's at the play. But what's interesting about that is we see at the end of this episode, she writes the epilogue where she talks about the handsome widower. So it can't, that's not Mark
he's a widower,
Kasabian.
but he has been married 3 times. That does come up.
That's right. Yes.
Carrie says he's been married 3 times. So.
Yeah, Carrie, you don't have a great track record.
Yeah. Don't be
judgy, honey. All right. Yes.
Oh gosh.
And then
wait,
this whole storyline. What?
Did we pass over the never mind.
No, we're on to the LTW Herbert stuff.
Yeah, I see it later in my notes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we see LTW for the first time in this episode. She comes walking into the theater, and there's Herbert still sullen and moping.
Sulking.
Now, I would also like to say that we now, this is a time frame issue that they really screwed up, because this is supposed to be 2 to 3 months later. We just saw, Anthony tells us, I'm like his mom for the last 2 or 3 months. So Herbert 3 months later is still wallowing. And people are still coming up to him 3 months later. And I also want to say, they were working on that play like 30. I mean, I guess 3 months makes sense for a play in high school, but just all of it, I was like, that makes no sense with the time frame. I'm like, why is he still sad?
Well, you know what? Okay, so they talked about this on the writers' room.
Yes, I'm sure they had reasons.
They wanted, in their storyboard vision, they wanted to make Herbert depressed. Have some bout with depression, and they didn't want it to be like too hardcore, but just sort of this low grade depression that's kind of lasting too long, like you said. Like he should be over it kind of by now. And so this is how they did it.
So if you want to show low grade depression, why not have, instead of having people come up to him as if the election just happened and make these snide comments about like, I'm not even thinking about all the money we donated to you, any of those things. Why not make it that he's insecure about going, and Lisa's like, there's no one's paying attention to you. This was 2 or 3 months ago.
Right.
Like you're making this up in your head. That makes a lot more sense. He's just being a dick. I don't know.
Psych Legal Pop will be right back after these messages.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
So, if they wanted to show Herbert depressed, which I think would be something that would be more realistic, this isn't depression. He's just he's just so angry and feeling, just all of
embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
Because he says he doesn't want to go into the office because people
he's working from home.
Talking about him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, depression shows up differently for different people in different ways and all those other kinds of things. But what they're really doing is it's very hard to have empathy for him and feel for him. So, and that's you need people to still feel something for him, and you've made him really awful. So, yeah.
And also, he announced, well, actually LTW announced to everyone, season 1, Herbert's running for comptroller. And then he says, I am, because he wanted to run for comptroller and then she didn't want him to. But then they had that dinner party and she was trying to change the narrative.
I think Mark Kasabian was there too. Yeah,
probably was. That's where Charlotte came and she had all this knowledge about art and she impressed LTW's mom, and dad, who was still alive.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Billy D. Williams, I think, was in the
he
first.
there? Was he at that dinner? No. These were Herbert's family, not Lisa's.
Oh, okay. Well, it could have been a crossover, like both. Anyway, he's been running for comptroller for 3 years. Okay. And
he ran a great campaign.
It wasn't good enough. He clearly was out of touch with the people because he lost the working class.
Yes.
They did not show up and vote for him. But he's not working class. The guy's like a Wall Street banker.
Yeah.
You know? A rich Wall Street banker. He is out of touch.
Yeah.
What did he think?
Well, what did they say? Like, oh my God, lost by 10 points to a community activist in bad shoes.
That's rude.
Yeah.
Okay. Barack Obama was a community organizer.
Yeah. But it's, again, we're back to, again, they're trying to make these women seem awful. Yeah. You know, the gossipy rich women at the high school.
And they're like, oh, don't worry about all the money we donated to you. I mean, that was really bitchy too. Yeah.
And then we have this whole scene with Principal Peterson, who comes out to, and again, I think they're showing like, it's, that he, is being inundated by people. And I guess maybe they can argue that this is the first time any of these people have seen Herbert since the election loss. I don't know. But then the principal comes in. He's like, I was trying to get the LGBTQIA vote out and we tried to get you elected. And oh God, it was just so hard. And I tried my best and
just rubbing it in.
And then, of course, then the principal has to fall all over Giuseppe. I don't get the Giuseppe thing. I think he's cute, but I don't think he's like, oh my God, like stop everything, gorgeous. But we have to make some comment about Giuseppe.
Well, that's the thing. They make this character just a real doofus,
The principal or Giuseppe?
The principal.
Yeah.
Principal. Yeah.
And then this was another thing that I thought was very inconsistent, which is we see Rock as Millie. They're fabulous. They're fabulous. And she's saying last week, she's like, oh, we were all surprised that Rock got the lead in Thoroughly Modern Millie. It's like, okay, I guess you guys had no idea she could sing and dance and do any of these things. Okay.
And that was actually the actress who plays Rock. That was her really singing.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I was like, I almost feel like she went up to them and said, the show is ending. Can I do a number? They're like, sure. Let's throw that in.
Well, MPK said that he didn't know she could sing and they were doing the table read. And he's like, okay, I want you to practice lip syncing to this song. And she's like, no, I can sing. And he's like, I don't know. And so then she met with whoever was producing this. And they're like, oh yeah, she really can sing. She was like, she's auditioned for Broadway and might have been in some Broadway productions. I don't know. Just a little piece of trivia there.
Yes. Yes. And then this is where Charlotte asks Carrie to take a photo. And she does.
Okay. So now we're back at Miranda's.
No, we're at Herbert's.
Right.
We're at Herbert and LTW's.
Okay. Well, this is just, he doesn't want to go into the office. He's working from home because
but did you see this? Did you hear that last line? LTW, because he's feeling so shameful. And she says to him, I have never, ever been prouder to be your wife. And he says, not helping. Go to work, please. And I think that I don't know about the scenes for next week, but is this going to drive her into Marion's arms? Because she had a look on her face.
I don't know. She was. It did hurt her feelings.
Yeah, he really hurt her.
But there's no time for an affair. No time. I don't know how they could possibly do that. The episode's probably only going to be 40 minutes, and she's only one character.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe the series ends with LTW. I don't know.
They've got to do something. They brought this guy in, but they probably thought they had another season with him too.
Yeah, probably. But you're making this guy more and more of a monster. Herbert, that it does feel like you're creating something that, say the meanest thing you can to her. So then she walks off to work pissed and hurt. I feel like something's going to happen, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yes.
So then we're at Miranda's, right?
We have the Harry and Charlotte scene.
you get like every little kernel. Okay, you finish this off.
No. But I never know. So, but again, it's like this other scene where, she's like, "Oh, do I feel something hard on my back?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's my iPad."
Oh yeah. See, sometimes scenes like that, I just don't even write down because they're so dumb.
Well, and then this is where he reveals to her that I want to have Thanksgiving here because I didn't think that I was going to live. And I just kept saying to myself, make it to Thanksgiving, make it to Thanksgiving, make it to Thanksgiving. And that's why he wants to be at home for Thanksgiving so badly. And she was like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, oh, well, I didn't want to seem like a wuss because I can't get hard. So the whole world thinks I'm not a man. And I hate myself. All of it. It's just, I don't know. And again, this is not, I just want to say, I don't feel like this is how somebody who got the diagnosis that he did, that he would be thinking, I just have to make it to Thanksgiving. I just have to make it to Thanksgiving. Just me. But okay. Now we're at Miranda's.
Okay.
Your turn.
Finally.
Joy is there with those dogs.
She doesn't go anywhere without those dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're chatting, having a, lovely little chicken tikka masala dinner that's better than anything she's had in New Delhi.
Yes.
Brady walks in. He's pissed off because he got a text from Mia that she's coming for Thanksgiving. And how dare you go behind my back? And what are you doing? And, finally Miranda stands up and says, this baby is coming. I'm just trying to meet this woman so I can have a relationship and we can all, work together because this is happening. And, this was very, I thought, realistic. And Brady does need to get his shit together because then he just sort of storms off, all, huffing and puffing, going, into his room. But he was scaring the dogs. And this is interesting too. Like, Miranda says, stop, you're scaring the dogs. Because now she's been with Joy so much that she's worried about the dogs.
Well, she's like, Joy only likes me if the dogs are okay.
Right.
Joy's not going to stay with me.
Joy will have to leave if the dogs are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so Joy even picks up the dogs.
Yes, and holds them tight.
And she's clearly upset. Joy's upset. The dogs are upset. Joy's upset. I think we're going to find out next week because there's a scene from the next week's episode where I think Joy cancels at the last minute because she just can't deal with family things. So I think maybe Joy came from a very a violent home or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Growing up. So anyway.
But can I ask you so aside from all this, what do you think a mother, your child got someone pregnant. Your child is saying, I don't have a relationship with them. They don't want anything from me. So is Miranda overstepping by doing what she's doing? Even if we all agree that the way she's handling is crappy. But if she had gone to Brady and said, I am extending this invitation to her. This is, I'm throwing this is, and I want to have a relationship with her. So she's being honest with him. Do you think that does the mom need to respect Brady and his wishes? Or is it no, there's a baby coming and that is more important than respecting your wishes?
I don't think she's overstepping. I think what she is doing is that while Brady might feel this way now, when the baby comes, he's going to feel something different. And if this really was a situation where, they don't want to be together, she doesn't want anything to do with him, whatever. Why did he tell Miranda and Steve then?
That's a good point.
And then I just think that she's thinking right now he can't wrap his brain around this. But when the baby is born, everything's going to change.
Yes.
And she, he probably is going to want to see the baby. And even if he doesn't, she's going to want, child support. Maybe, he might want visitation. All of a sudden when it becomes real and all of these things start happening, that's going to happen in a couple months. And I think she's trying to snap him into reality. And I don't think she's overstepping at all. I think he needs to look, he knows about it. If Mia didn't want him in her life, she could have lied, said it was someone else's baby. She told him the truth, knowing that, okay, now he knows that now he could come to her and say, I want, visitation or whatever. No, this has got to be dealt with, and Brady needs to grow up quick.
Yeah. I mean, I do know this is something I've seen all the time, which is because, women will say, I'm pregnant, but my partner isn't, they don't seem to get it. And I'm always like, that's the thing. When you're female, the minute you're pregnant, you're now a mom. Like your body is not yours. You now have to make a bunch of decisions that you wouldn't normally make. And I think it is really hard for men until the baby shows up. They really don't get it. No, I see it. I agree with you. I was going back and forth on she told her, she was honest with Brady. So that has to mean something. And that he went to talk to them, and that has to mean something. I just feel like what you just said is what Miranda needed to say, which is, please trust me as your mother, that I have a better sense of this, and just trust me, but she's not doing that. She keeps lying to him. She keeps tricking him. And I think that's part of the problem. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't know how they're going to wrap that one up. But...
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
sorry, one really quick. This is one thing that I totally spaced out on, but so that's Ben Stiller's daughter, Ella, and that Anne Mira was her grandmother was Steve's mother.
Mom.
I was like, so symmetrical, so nice.
Yeah, I know that was. I wonder if they sought her out on purpose because of that.
I don't know. I mean, because
I didn't even know she was an actress. I'd never seen her in anything.
I didn't know she was an actress either.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anywho, got it. Okay. Go on. Sorry.
So then I think the next scene is where Carrie and Seema are having drinks.
Yes.
And Seema's complaining about, this weird thing.
Tofurkey.
Yeah. And Carrie says, are you going to make this lovely event bad, or this lovely invitation bad?
Determined to make this lovely invite a bad thing. It's like, oh, thank God. Someone finally, I think finally, I think someone was just like, someone has to smack her around. She's exhausted.
I know. God, snap out of it, lady. And so then Seema says to Carrie, I got a call from a realtor, the people who own Duncan's former, where he was staying. They want to sell, and they want to offer it to Carrie first. And Seema thinks it would be a good financial move, because then she would own the entire building and it would have a higher resale value.
Which,
and
I agree.
I'm confused. No, it's true. It's a good idea. And I'm like, well, okay, there's 2 units. One is this palatial place with a tiny kitchen. And the other one is like an underground hovel. Like,
yes.
What kind of a little setup layout is this?
And they're owned by 2 separate people.
Yes. How did that happen?
And the other thing was that apparently the person that Carrie bought from was like this old widower who was bedbound and like never moved or anything. So you would have to believe that, she lived there for a long time. So why didn't you own the entire place? Like this whole time, you weren't bedbound the whole time you lived there. So you never own this down. So you have all this. It just, that never again made sense. But again, it is the writers going, well, we have to get these 2 together. So how do we do this? How
are we going to get it? Yeah. In no place in New York would this happen. Like,
it's too weird.
It wouldn't happen. Maybe back in the day that little hovel was like servants' quarters or something.
Yeah, but it would all be the same house. Why would 2 different people own it?
They'd have their own private well, maybe it was built like that to be servants' quarters. And then maybe somebody needed money somewhere along the way. So they somehow got that to be a separate legal unit and sold it to somebody.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's how it happened.
We'll pretend that's how it happened. We'll never know, but
yes.
But Carrie's kind of a little offended by this suggestion that, or she seemed like she was offended by this suggestion that she might want to move. And again, she's feeling very sensitive about this whole being alone thing, and that how can she live in this big old house and acquire even more square footage?
Even more space. What am I going to do with the hovel?
Right. Put my shoes in there? I don't know. I mean, yeah. So she said, and it's like, no, Carrie, nobody's saying that, like, you can't live alone in that big house, but you could tell that she's sensitive about it.
Yes. Very sensitive. Very sensitive about all of it. But I think the other big part of this is just I think it was shot. I think she thought that Duncan was going to come back.
So she finds out he's not coming back.
And I think that's very shocking. I mean, and I can imagine that being hurtful, that he didn't even email her and say, hey, FYI,
I'm never going to see you again.
I'm never going to see you again, or, this is what's happening. So this is how she learns about it. And so, yeah, I mean, and I can understand that's what hit her, and that was hard.
Mm-hmm.
But, Carrie, it makes really good business sense. Like, that's such a no-brainer.
Yeah.
To buy it. Of course, buy it. You have tons of money.
Yeah. So now she finally goes back into her old apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And in the writer's room, they were talking about how this apartment is a set that they had to build. So even the staircase is a set on a soundstage. So when Carrie walks in, she looks up the stairs. That's all a set. You get up to the top of the stairs. Like, they had to recreate her apartment completely with as much as they were going to. It's obviously changed. But even Gramercy is a set. It's not like they're filming in that home. Like, there's an exterior shot of a real house that they use, but then they take the front of the house and they built it as a set. It's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I can believe that because they get so many people around when they're just doing scenes outside that I can imagine they feel like we have to have some level. Because even if they were shooting in that building, there's not a lot of privacy. People still see. And then people,
Yeah, people are coming and going. And no, they have to be able to control the environment somewhat.
Yes.
So, so she gets to the top of the stairs and some guy answers the door. Ezekiel, I think, was that his name?
Oh God, I didn't write it down. But it's close to that.
Yeah.
Emmanuel or something.
He opens the door and you walk in the front door and then there's just like a wall and then there's another door and the wall has spackle on it. It's not even painted. And then he opens the door and he's like, oh, hi. And then does Lizette open another door? Or she
comes through the bathroom.
So they divided the apartment and Ezekiel has one half with the kitchen and that area. And she has the closet and the bathroom and bedroom. Anyway, they've destroyed the apartment.
It is truly, truly bizarre. Again, I would love to hear on the writer's room what they were thinking, because in my mind, and again, I think they were thinking, well, she has to get back to her old apartment, but it needs to look different and feel different. So, but again, Lizette lived alone before. She is like, oh, I always had roommates and I was so scared to live alone. Lizette's lived alone before. And so this isn't, she was passed out with her door open.
Yeah, she lived alone when Carrie met her downstairs.
Yeah, downstairs. And one night passed out with the front door open.
Yeah.
Carrie put her to bed and shut the door with all the music on. Really? You're now scared to live alone in the same building? And actually, this is even more secure than the last apartment you were in this building. It's just, that makes no sense. Yeah. And then the other thing is how big is this apartment? Isn't this big? Do you know what I mean? It was this isn't even feasible. just felt so weird, all of it.
No. And it was all dark and, and the wallpaper that Carrie had, she had that pretty wallpaper that was kind of turquoise with these white carnations. Well, someone went and with a black magic marker and colored in all the carnations. So now it's like darker and, and there were a few things you could recognize, like very few, but very little. And in fact, I saw a picture online of, they were comparing what it used to look like with what it looked like on the show now. And it was still hard to believe that was the same apartment. They were trying to show it from the same angles. And it was just like, oh man, this place is just messed up. Just ruined it.
Yeah, they completely ruined it. And
I guess you could take the walls down, but I don't know.
But it's also kind of very haphazard. Like, let's just throw a wall up. Let's just throw up a board.
Like some particle board.
Yeah.
And a cheap door from Home Depot.
So apparently Lizette doesn't need a kitchen. And I guess Emmanuel or Ezekiel doesn't need a closet.
Or a bathroom?
Well, I think they have to share
the bathroom has like 2 entrances.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they have to share the bathroom. I think that's important. But it's so weird. Like, anyway, so what's the reasoning? Please explain to me the reasoning of all of this. Did they have an explanation?
Well, I think it's okay. So then they get into this discussion because so Lizette is so paranoid about someone breaking in and murdering her. And she says to Carrie, like, aren't you afraid of living alone? Again, going back to now she's alone in this big house. And she says, I'm not scared of being alone. I'm more scared of what's already happened to me. And I resonated with that.
Yeah.
Because being alone a lot of times is a lot better than
it is
some situations. And then I wrote down this, I'm not sure who said this, which one of them said it. I think maybe it was Carrie. She says, is it okay to end up alone?
Oh.
And
I thought Lizette said that, but
maybe she did. Maybe she did. I don't know. I take terrible notes. So we're back to this. We're back to, this is the theme. This is the theme of the series.
Yeah.
And
is it okay for a woman to end up alone? Is this okay? Is this a tragedy?
But she's not alone. Carrie is not alone. She has, tons of friends. She is going to be in another relationship again, whether it's with Mark Sabian or
Sabian,
or somebody else. But she's not alone. Just because you own your own home or you have your own apartment, condo, whatever it is, and you are the only one on the lease or the title or whatever, and you're living there by yourself, does that mean you're alone?
Yeah.
It's just a place to to sleep and live your life. I don't know.
Well, but it would also be interesting, and they never tied it to where we are in the world today, because back in the late 90s, early aughts, that was the sentiment. I mean, we were in a different place.
And that's when the Sex and the City started. That's when they all moved to New York.
Yes, and that was this idea. That's what women were thinking about. And so here we are 20 some odd years later, and why couldn't this series be a comment on the fact that, like, you don't, Carrie has everything. Carrie doesn't need anything, that she has everything that she needs, and that maybe men will come and go, but this is good enough, and about where she is in her life. But they never did that. They still made her a terrible business person and, not paying attention to money, like all of it.
Well, yeah. And Carrie, she did get her one big true love.
She did.
He happened to die. They didn't have that much time together, but
they did have a lot of time together.
I mean, I can't remember how much time,
But if they met in the late 90s, according to the show, he dies in 2022 or 21.
But they weren't
That's
together.
a long time.
They weren't together that whole time.
Yeah, but they were pretty much together since the movie and all that. So 2008.
I don't know.
Together. I don't know.
I guess it was longer.
The show ended in 2004, and they were together then. So.
Okay,
17, 18 years.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if that if you can ask for that to happen multiple times in your life,
yeah. How many great loves, how many, the person are you going to?
Because Aiden wasn't even the one, he was not. It's not like, oh, this is my second. No, that didn't work.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Never did.
Yeah.
Never did.
So.
All right. Well.
Yeah. And then we see this whole thing where she turns off the alarm and then we see her writing the epilogue where she says, the woman got an invitation to a party on parchment paper and, oh God. And a handsome widower will be at the party. Pa, pa, pa. So what are the scenes for next week?
Well, no, I've kind of forgotten. I didn't write it down.
All right.
I forgot.
Well, we'll all be
surprised together. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, next week will be the last episode forever. Or until until Sarah Jessica Parker and Michael Patrick King have a new idea.
Well, maybe they could have kids of Sex and the City. We could follow the lives of
Lily?
Brady and Mia and their new baby and Lily and Rock and who else do we?
I don't like any of these kids. I like Rock, but I don't want to follow it. I certainly don't want to follow Lily. And
what if Lily gets it together and turns things around?
Personally, I'd rather see Samantha in London dating. Personally, I think that would be fascinating. But not the kids. So,
all right, well, that's it. Then that's it.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here and for tuning in. If you enjoy us, we have a Patreon where you can get additional content from us. You get all the shows ad-free. You also get a weekly bonus. Plus, we have additional extras for our higher tier. We do an Ask Us Anything where people can ask us questions about legal advice and mental health advice or pop culture or whatever you want to ask about. We do a true crime. We do an exclusive Patreon true crime. We did that last month's just Ghislaine. God, I can't say that name. Ghislaine Maxwell. And we broke all of that down. So, so go check it out. If you enjoy our show, you can follow us on social media. We're on YouTube. Hello. So please follow us on YouTube. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star rating and review and subscribe and share the word. Spread the word.
Spread the
podcast.
Word.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angel's Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriassecret.com.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.